introduction to this great time we'll be having and talking about the young people, talk about our society, talking about the pressure the young people face. We'll talk about fame, we'll talk about money, I'm going to talk about relationship. So for us, I think we see life, and the young people see life around this these phases where you talk about fame, money, and relationship. So I have some wonderful young people on board with us. These are trailblazers. These are wonderful young people that are doing amazingly well in their field, doing well in their Christian life, in their faith in God, doing well. So today we're just going to hear their perspective and talk to us from that angle. Yep. So unmute your mics and introduce yourself. So David, please unmute your mic. Or please unmute your mic and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is David Adewale, but you can call me David. Yes, I'm a second-year medical student near University. Yes.
Yeah, what student? What student?
I am a second-year medical student.
Okay, great.
Yes, thank you very much. Pleasure to meet everybody.
You're welcome. All right.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Adenle Oreoluwa. I am a 4th/5th-year medical student.
Oh, wow. University. So medical.
Yeah, and I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
Thank you for joining. Happy to see you as well. So everyone joining us, thank you for joining. Please, you can as well send reminders to your friend that we're up. We have just 40 minutes to have this wonderful discussion to impact lives and to hear what God is planning to tell us today. So let me start with you, Ore. Going based on your experience and what you have seen, or what you were experiencing as a young lady in your teens and medical students, what do you think about fame? Why do you think the young generation of now craves so much for fame?
Well, I think that's just, it has become the norm, really. It has just become something normal. And everybody just thinks that that's what they're supposed to, aim to be famous. And I don't know why, really. It's just based on reality, yeah.
Okay, so do you think, to what end are they looking for this fame? To what end do young people really want this fame? To what end?
Well, I feel it's because of money.
Because of money?
Yeah.
For money to trend, for money for what?
Just to, is maybe to, not really to impact the society, but to be known, because there's just this thing that comes with, being popular and people knowing you entering a place, and then they are just like, whoa, this person is in here. I think that's really what, yeah.
So if you're given an option between known and not known, which would you go for and why?
Oh, well, I'll go for not known.
Why?
And this is not be humble or anything, but I just like to be I like to stay low key, like, okay, maybe the impacts are showing, but I don't like to show my face everywhere. So that's just my personal preference.
Okay, that's your personal preference. So to everyone listening, please, if you have a question or contribution, please, you could look for the box where you can send your question for any of the young people to answer your question. We have lots of questions. If you have several questions, I'm sure they're equipped and ready to respond to you. So David, let me go back to you. Let me come back to you. David, what do you think about relationships? Why do young people crave for relationships? And is relationship bad?
Okay. Personally, I feel like it depends on a few different factors. One, our society, and two, maybe things that we're feeling in our bodies as young people. Let me explain. As young people, growing up in the modern world today, what is mostly around us, or what is trending, so to say, is relationships. Well, who's your girlfriend? Who's your boyfriend? And how long have you guys been together? What's happening with you guys? It's kind of a trend. And for young people, it has been like a norm for us to be in trend with things. If you're not in trend with things as a young person, it feels like you're missing out. That's where the fear of missing out comes in. Young people are usually, we have a serious syndrome where we have a fear of missing out on things happening in our society at large. So when there's fear of missing out, we try to hop on every trend, not necessarily thinking it's how it will affect us personally, not necessarily thinking how it will affect us individually or our families. We just hop on the trends because it's a trend and it's a thing that everybody is doing. So we just tend to follow suit what everybody's going on, because that's what's happening in our society today. And also I feel relationships are not bad, but I feel like most of us at this age are probably not ready for relationships. We might feel otherwise, but it's a serious tussle, because we feel we have hormones, very, very serious hormones that are currently telling us and giving us so many things to feel at different times. And the only way we feel like we can satiate those things, or ease ourselves, or calm ourselves, or just basically ease them out, is by we're feeling like the need to be in a relationship, or to be with someone, or to have someone to hold, or someone we feel like we can commune with, so to say. So that's my take.
Okay, so because I see the young people nowadays, they say, I can get into a relationship without having sex. I can get into a relationship and don't have sex. I just want to have somebody I can talk to all the time. I want somebody I can confide in. I want somebody I can. So do you think it's possible for young people to be in a relationship without having sex and having some interpersonal communication between both of you?
Well, it is definitely possible, but very unlikely. That's what I'm going to say. Because
it is possible, but very unlikely.
Very
okay,
unlikely.
Explain.
It is very,
explain.
very, very possible, but unlikely. So this I'm going to say. I'll say it's the same way you say it's it's possible to, like, the task is not impossible. Trying to have somebody to talk to, or being in a relationship with someone and saying that there's not going to be any physical contact is not something impossible to do. Obviously, we're humans, and we have, we're lord of our own bodies and minds, so we can decide what to do and what not to do. But very unlikely, in the sense that we do not necessarily have the resolve, or put ourselves in the position to hold that resolve, where we'd say we're not going to have anything physical to do with anybody. And, honestly speaking, if anybody's saying that, they're going to be in a relationship without having to do any of that, I personally think maybe they're lying to themselves, or having reverse psychology. Because the reason you would want to enter a relationship, yes.
They're lying to themselves, having reverse psychology. Okay.
Yes. The reason you don't want to be in a relationship with someone, for me personally, from my personal experience, the reason I'd want to be in a relationship with somebody is, to have someone I can, be slightly, more closer to, or someone I feel like I can have a seemingly closer relationship to, which I'm probably not supposed to be having at such a stage, because it is distracting, for me. But if I'm going to be in a relationship with anybody, it's not necessarily because I just want somebody to talk to. I can talk to my friends. There are people I have people I can talk to. I have close, very, very close people I can talk to. Guys, both girls, but still not leading to anything of that sort. So me being in a relationship is not because I want to talk to somebody. It's because I want to be closer to someone on a more physical level, I think, personally.
On a more physical level. So, Ore, let me ask you, Ore, do you think a boy and a girl can be besties?
I think so, actually.
You think a boy and a girl can be best friends?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
I don't have a guy as my best friend, but my cousin does, and I know how they are. They're good.
How old is your cousin? How old is your cousin again?
She's 22.
22.
Yes.
Okay, and how old is the guy?
It's 21. He's 22 too. He turned 22 last month.
Oh, he turned 22. So they are best friends.
Yes.
So what do you think they do? What do they talk about? As best friends, like David is, if I say David is my best friend now, or a guy is my best friend, we can talk about everything. We can bear it all, and I can call you anytime if I have smooth mood swing and all that and all. Or my wife is my best friend because she's my wife. I
Yeah.
bear it all. I can tell my wife everything, and she can tell me everything, and I don't feel some type of way. But do you think a girl and a guy being best friends, she can tell the guy everything? Like everything?
Well, I don't think so, really, but I think she tries. I think they try. I think they try. She has me, so I feel like I am her best friend. But
Okay.
the name
Okay.
her best friend is between them. She might not call me her best friend, but they
Okay.
are.
Now,
And
do you think beyond the best friend, one person might be catching feelings for the other person?
right, that's something I actually asked her a few days ago. I asked her, and she's like,
Okay.
"No, never, never. They can't. She cannot have feelings for him." I'm like, "How are you even sure that he doesn't have feelings for you?" And she's like, "No, no, no, he doesn't. Blah 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 blah." They can't really say. That's the truth. And she knows her own feelings. She knows she doesn't have feelings for him, but she's not sure if he does. And so it's kind of, messy.
So if it's kind of messy, then do you think that a boy and a girl, two young people, can be best friends? A male and a female can be besties? Like what is
Well,
you guys are saying,
now
my bestie, my bestie.
Well, now I don't think so, because really, I don't think they can share everything with each other. That's just the truth.
But
Even
you know,
if they
with your
share each other,
go
yeah.
ahead. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Let me finish. Go
Even
ahead.
if
Finish.
they share everything with each other, they might not, when feelings start coming in, they might not be able to share because it's like, no, you're my best friend. You're not supposed to have this kind of feelings for me, that kind of thing. So, well, I will not have a male as my best friend, really, if it's not my husband.
If it's not your husband. So now, do you think as a Christian, as a young child of God, do you think when you have a female or a male as a best friend, don't you think there are going to be a lot of compromise act that you're going to do, and you just have to lose some certain things just because of this to prove to this person, because the male and the female genes, they're totally different. So as a child of God, do you think that can work?
Like, I think it can, really. I think it should be able to work.
For how
It,
long? For how long? So
that,
I'm in SS3. I'm in SS3 now, and he's in 100 level university, Covenant University student. So for how long do you think these besties as child of God can last? And what is the end of this bestie thing you were doing?
right. I really, honestly, right now, I feel like it might not last. And really, the end was, what's the end, really? Like you just said, I'm thinking about it now, like, what's actually the end game? I don't think it's worth it, honestly.
Awesome. So David, what do you think? So guys, please send in your questions. If you have anything you want these young people to talk about, for us to talk about, you're going through stuff and you don't know what kind of decision to take, we can help you with your decisions. So if you're going through a confused state, if you're in a confused state, we can help you out at the moment. So please don't suffer alone. Don't go through pains alone. Don't go through confused state alone. Ask your question. By God's grace, we're going to respond to you. So David, what do you think about besties and all?
As regards the bestie, situation, I feel like why are you even calling somebody your best friend? Like what I said, what is the end game of what you guys are trying to achieve? Because in a relationship, for crying out loud, if you're going to be that close to somebody, I mean, you're going to get that close to somebody. I mean, you should already be looking towards trying to get engaged to them or looking at a future with them. Presently, at a time like this, I mean, if you're looking for that kind of closure, you should be ready for marriage. You should be ready to, work towards something, in my opinion. But presently, if you're going to have a relationship with someone saying it as a best friend, I feel like that best friend tag, it shouldn't even have to get to the point where we're looking at, other things like physical or, other like, I don't know, things that people trying to get in a relationship would do. If I'm trying to say, Stepper, you're my best friend, things that will naturally, come to you to talk about, things that naturally come to you to, complain about or, tell you or myself to you, I'm going through something, I'm having, dilemmas. It's the same way I should be able to maybe, go to the girl and, explain myself to her without having to, think about any other attachments. the fact that our, minds have already registered the fact that, okay, because, it's another gender and she's a girl, there has to be other strings attached, that's where it becomes an issue, in my opinion. I feel like if you're going to be with a girl or somebody, the fact that the word best friends, it should just be what it is. The same way, you're a friend with her, just maybe you guys talk a little more and that's about it. The fact that you're going to get to a position where you guys are doing something a little bit more, maybe she should not even be your best friend, and she should be your, I don't know, something that should be another word categorized for it, your lover to be, your to be betrothed, your engaged, something different, you understand what I'm saying? But the fact that best friend, that's why she's your best friend. Maybe you've known her for a longer period, you guys have been through, more hardships, she's helped you, come out of stuff a little bit more. And sure, maybe at some point you feel like, okay, sure, maybe one or two things that you might feel some strings attached, but it should not be something that you should act on. That's what I feel. Because I've had friends.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to fame and money. David, when we talk to young people about relationships, don't get into relationship yet. One of the response they give is, I'm mature. I think I'm mature enough to handle relationships. Yeah, I can handle this, and they will say, "This is my truth." What do they mean by I can handle this thing called relationship? What do they mean by that?
Well, from my understanding, when someone says they can handle a relationship, especially at this adolescent age that we're in, they feel like, or what they're trying to interpret is that, okay, they can handle maybe heartbreak, they can handle the stipulations that come with a relationship, which can be different things, maybe taking care of the person, maybe being emotionally available for the person, being financially available for the person. So maybe that's what they mean by they are able to handle a relationship. Well, that is what it should mean, being able to be there for somebody on a wholesome level. But honestly, that is just another joke that we tell ourselves these days, because
that's another
the fact
joke.
that your parents, yes, they will tell ourselves, because if your parents are still sending you money, even if your parents are not sending you money, the fact that maybe you still struggle to pay your rent, or the fact that you're still struggling to just if you're struggling with daily needs, just know that one, you are not ready for a relationship. That's
so like you are now a medical student, and
yes,
I'm seeing Jason that really want to love the Lord, that wants to serve the Lord, and in his young age, because I think this is the time. See, guys, young people, this age is the making or breaking of your life. You are setting the foundation of your life at this age. So if you find yourself struggling with some certain things, it's a norm. But your decision, what you take, what you do about it, it's what's going to make you or break you. So like a medical student now, and you're aiming at, your grade is 4/4. I don't think it's 5, it's Nigeria that is 5. Yours is 4. And you're trying to get a 4.4 CGPA, and it is time for your exams. And your bestie is going through some emotional crisis at home. The parents are hurting her, they're judging her, and just put her in the part, and you're trying to prepare for your exams. If you say I'm mature enough, how can you share such relations? How can you share such emotional time between you and your bestie as a young person that you're not even working? Your mother sends you school fees, your father sends you school fees. If they don't send you, you'll be poor. You'll be broke. How can you share such time?
Well, then,
Talk to the young people.
I feel like that's where priorities come in, and that's where young people have it mistaken a lot. The fact that we're friends with someone should not blind us from the fact that we also have a responsibility to ourselves, and we have life goals just as well. I feel like that's where priorities come to play, because I can't have a friend that might be going through something, but just as important as what she's going through, it's just as important as what I'm having to deal with. Like you said, exams. This is what is going to determine, what my life is going to become, what I'm going to make out of myself as an individual, what I'm going to use to serve, my country and the environment as a whole. I just feel like that's where priorities, come into play. You should understand priorities. We should prioritize our relationships and we should prioritize our lives. No.
So in prioritizing your relationship, don't mean of the relationship, not based on your hormones and based on the societal pressure.
Very, very true. Very true. So in essence, if you can't do without it, please do without it. I think you can't do it. I think you can't do without it. Because that's what I'm saying. You shouldn't even be prioritizing that kind of thing against your studies, in my opinion, if you think about it. Especially for somebody like me. I can't be having an exam thinking about, I have to be currently emotionally available for this person. Sure, it can happen, unexpectedly. But when I'm having to deal with something just as important, the fact that you see yourself having to share studying and share time between having to be there for someone constant, that's where I think there is an issue. Sure, things happen, but the fact that you have to spend your time, like that means there's an issue and you should watch the relationship.
Let me go back to you, Ore. I want to talk about fame. And I'm going to come back to that. As a Christian, do you think that a Christian should participate in Nigeria, Big Brother Nigeria?
Oh my God, I do not think so.
Why don't you think so?
What are you going to do there?
Win souls for Christ.
Oh, really? No.
Somebody say, if I go there, I will not be praying and be calling Jesus' name every day and be saying that Jesus is Lord. Maybe it's a part of God's calling from them. Can use that Big Brother participation to evangelize. Do you agree with the person?
I do.
Okay.
Because the truth is, what's that thing? Good company or something corrupts good manners. Because really, I'm not saying you can't go to the club or go to, but there are other avenues that you can win souls. To go to BB Nigeria to do that.
David, what do you think? A lot of people are looking for. So guys, please, in case we go off after 40 minutes, please use the link to come back, to join us back. Yeah, in case we go off. So you just give us 40 minutes. So David, what do you think about a born-again Christian participating on BB Nigeria? Well,
I feel like you said, it depends on what you're going to do there. What are you going to do there? If, in your heart of hearts, you're going to BB Nigeria to say that, okay, in this environment I'm going, and then you go there and, you wake up, you try to instill, devotion, kind of analogy. You try to try to do things differently, and you truly go there and do it with all the honesty and, good intent in your heart, then, yeah, you can't do it. But that's why I say you have to know yourself. You have to understand yourself.
Okay, so David, now this is it. Wait, let me help you. You don't judge yourself. The society, the world, judge you when you are on BB Nigeria. So Don't you think you'll be forced to do what the society wants you to do to get their votes?
So I'm saying it depends on how much you can be individual, how much you can be influenced. I mean, look at in the Bible. Jesus went to a lot of promiscuous places, if you think about it. But then, but then he went there and he made it different, and he did things differently. He didn't do things the way everybody would do things naturally. So as I say, you have to understand the kind of person you are and understand what you stand for and what you believe in. So that's what I'm saying. But I mean, sure, maybe you probably just shouldn't carry yourself and go there and try to. There are different places you can't make an example. But if you see opportunities to do that kind of thing and you feel like it's a different, even if you probably get evicted very early because you're going there and you're always doing praise and worship, but you definitely did, leave a mark and did, make a difference. So you can do it. It is possible to go there and be different. But, I guess the way to really know.
So in going there, don't you think the person is going for fame, to be famous, to be recognized by the world?
Yes, you can be recognized by the world for Jesus Christ.
You can't remember what Jesus. Okay, all
You
right,
can
all right.
recognize those.
Okay, all right. What do you think? What do you think
Just-
about that?
I feel like you don't have to do that. Is the reason why you're going to BB Niger to even evangelize is because you want to know, oh, I'm a Christian and I want to change the world. And that's not really how it should be. If you want to evangelize, there are other places, there are other things you can do that people will even know. I'm not saying, oh, evangelize and, be low-key, don't let people know that you're a Christian or whatnot. But there are other things that you can do. You don't have to be on TV to show that. So, no.
So you can be there, David, because as a child of God, going to club does not help your spiritual life. And of course, that they always do parties and everything. So would you say when they are going to club on Saturday, you will not go, you'll be in the room sleeping or studying the word of God, because as a Christian, you're not good for club?
Yeah, I think it depends on your personal decision, to be honest.
No, but they give you rules. They give you rules.
Oh,
you don't break the rules.
Let me not normally. I have never watched an episode of BB Niger in my life before. Okay. So let me say that. Okay, let me start from there. Okay, there might be things you'll be forced to do. Okay, maybe I'm not aware of all our their rules and stipulations. But if you have to be in an environment where you'll be asked to do things that don't necessarily represent what we stand for, then okay, don't go for it. But if you can't go there and be entirely different and still be treated based on the regular what they call the house terms, or just do your things differently, because if everybody's forced to go to the club, or forced to play truth or dare, or forced to kiss somebody, then okay, that's a compromising situation. You don't go to a place that that okay, you'll be asked to do certain things you don't stand for, and then you go there and say you don't want to do them. Okay, that's it. Then sure, definitely should be there. I don't understand how their rules are, but I'll say this: if you can't go there without having to be forced to do things that you do not necessarily have a free will to do things your particular way, then I feel like you can't go there. Because I don't think it's a bad thing to go on TV and say, oh, yes, I'm a Christian. Oh, yes, I serve God. I just feel like you should just be, honest, with your dealings. Just be honest and just be true to yourself.
Okay. So we have adults here, we have parents here. Please, if you have any question, contributions you want to add to what we're saying, please don't just listen to us. We need your contribution. We need your suggestions. Because young people are listening to you and a lot of them are going through stuff. So please send in your questions, send in your contributions and all. So David, let's go to money, David. I see young people saying, I can do anything to get money. I can do anything to get money. I can do anything to use the latest phone. When I say anything, I mean, why do you think young people can do all sort of, after we finish talking about, I'm going to give you examples of what is happening now and hear your opinion and what you think about it. But why do you think the young people crave for money and they want Indomie money? What was it about delayed gratification? They see that as an insult when you tell them delayed gratification. So why do you think the young people crave for money so much they don't even want to work for it, just want to compromise and get it? Why?
Because I think there could be a bunch of reasons for this.
Okay.
One, young people can be very lazy, and if you notice, laziness has become a serious trend these days. Nobody's always all about work smarter, not work harder. How to earn the most you can. That kind of thing. And that is a thing that is also, like I will say this again, that's the thing that is, is in trend. If you think about it, fast money is in trend. And the thing with young people is that we believe money makes the most difference in the world, or we feel like people that make the most difference in the world, have money, or the people that can carry the most influence or gather the most influence have money. So when they put it to they feel like, okay, if I can get this amount of money and this particular time at this particular age, then nobody can control what I want to control. And that is a very, very, that's a very bad, or let me not say, but that's a very graded mindset, because the natural laws of life, we have to put effort into certain things to achieve certain things. There is no fast money, anywhere. And even with everything that's been happening, we still don't seem to learn and understand these things. Yeah. Bring 3 people to register on that means the trend. Everybody seems like, okay, that's the way to go, and that's the best next thing to do. And if you think about it, this generation is very, very different. Nobody's ready to put in the hours, people before us did. Nobody's ready to, sit down and make.
This generation
Yeah.
is very different. Nobody's willing to sit down and put the hours.
Yes.
Developing themselves, to working hard to earn the money.
Yes, that's what I think. That's what I think is going on, and that is because of the same trend that we're experiencing. We need to learn to get our minds off the happening trends and actually understand our lives, draw out a graph for our lives, and then follow a path that would actually lead us to the desired destination, all in accordance with God's will. But no, that's not how it is these days. We don't sit down and think about how our own lives are or how to plan our own future. We just think about how everybody else is doing it and how the world is doing it today and how the trend is going on, and that's just how we move.
Okay.
Like you said, the app, TikTok, a bunch of people just came on, made money off there. Now it's that's what everybody's doing these days. They're just trying to make videos, just trying to do what they feel is the fastest way to get money. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but when it becomes priority, when getting fast money or when getting quick money is becoming a priority, then it will definitely lead you to do many things you feel like you want to do to get the money, because you feel like
Thank you.
Work. Yeah.
Thank you. Ore, I have a burden in my heart, and this is a genuine burden. I see young girls sleeping around for money. I see young girls sleep around for money and sleeping with old men, and they are proud about it. They share it on their status, on their WhatsApp status. They share the proceeds of the money. A girl that naturally cannot afford to use an X Max iPhone is now using that kind of phone. And why do you think? Because I know a lot of young girls are under pressure to live the life, to buy the Peruvian hair, wear the high heel, to use the good, buy the expensive powder, to tone their skin, and those creams are expensive. So what can you tell a young girl that is listening to you right now to say, don't worry? What can you tell a girl that is under pressure to give up, to let go, and just use what you have to get what you don't have?
Okay, well, I totally understand that, because just this morning, my brother was saying, oh, he has a sugar daddy plug, and how, and how I just need to rub his head and rub his stomach and get money. And I was like, oh, no problem. And I was kidding, obviously, but that's just really, nobody wants to know how you're getting the money. You just want them to see that, oh, you have the latest phone and you're living the best life. It's like they don't care how you get it. They just, it's just, oh, I'm using the latest phone. Nobody cares. Nobody is going to ask me, oh, how. So that's nobody's business. That's my business. That's how I choose to work and, get the things I want. And it's really sad, honestly. I wish that they would understand that these things are actually not long-term.
Oh, wow. These things are not long-term.
Yes.
So can you put more light? Things are not long-term.
Well, the Bible says that every single thing is vapor, just perfume, and everything goes. And that's just the truth about the matter. I feel like if you life in that sense, you won't, struggle to get like, oh, I must have this. I totally get it, because, when maybe using an Android and you're just feeling so intimidated and all of that. I've been there. And
wow. Tell us your experience. Tell us why do people get intimidated by somebody else's iPhone? Makes people get intimidated. Let's find out right now. And plus you're a doctor, so maybe you could give us medical line research that you've done.
Okay, 5S, and everyone around me is using, and I was like, oh, wait, like, I literally put off my phone and keep it in my bag. I prefer to have a phone. Like, people should see that I don't have a phone than me to bring out that. And at some point I was like, already, why do you care about? But that's just, I don't know, it's sad, but you need to, try to understand that, no, this doesn't matter. And then like, no, these people are not better than me. I have Jesus. I try to encourage myself that I'm better than, like, it's not like they're better than me because they're using the best phones. I try to, encourage myself in the Lord, that kind of thing. And that's how I get out of it. That's just the truth. That's how I help myself get out of it. Like, oh, no. These people, I have eternal life. I'm going to heaven, that kind of thing. And I don't know if these people have salvation. I don't know if they're saved. All those kind of things. That's how I actually encourage myself. And to know that all these things would just fade away. And that's just the truth about the matter. Everything will fade.
So basically, when you find yourself in that kind of corner, what you do, you use the word of God to suppress any wrong thought that comes to your mind. And to add to what you're saying, any young person listening to us right now, I want to let you know that life is in stages. When the iPhone 5 came out, it was the latest. Everybody that had it had the latest iPhone. But now, nobody talks about iPhone 5. So don't you think that the things you crave for now will become valueless tomorrow? Even with the shirt and the shoes that we crave for, you see a particular brand of shoe, maybe like the latest Nike, and you really want to get it. You crave, you fight, you do everything to get the money, and you buy the what's it called, the trainers, and you wait. People, they don't know how to be contented with what they have. You must win in life, young people. You must learn to stay on your lane. You must learn to stay on your path. Somebody's using iPhone. You don't know how they got the phone. They did something terrible. Sugar mama, some sugar daddy, compromise that door. Every day that you hold that phone, remind. So why will you put yourself? That's why some people, when they want to pray, ask for forgiveness for 30 minutes and pray to God for 1 minute. Because guilt is not allowing them to move. You see, so when we talk about fame, when we talk about money, when we talk about relationships, there are time for those things. The time will come for those things and you enjoy anything. You enjoy. So David, let me come back to you, David. I see young people, I see boys now, they want to impress the next girl beside them. They want to impress the girl on their status. They want to smoking weed, doing sick, and forming hard guy, and you see them going to gym and train some bicep they don't even have. All they do in their life is to impress. So talk to a young boy that is great. There's a particular girl on their streets they're trying to impress. If you want to talk to the young guy now, I want to speak Hausa, what will you tell the young boy?
Well, what I would say was that, one, even if everything you're doing eventually does, eventually does work in the end, the satisfaction you're thinking you're going to get out of whatever it is you're doing is not nearly as close as what you're expecting it to be.
Right.
That's something. Because, when it comes to, attraction, and especially when it comes to women and it comes to, trying to be with a girl, trust me, trying to get the girl, or like the procedure and the expectation of getting the girl and when you actually get the girl are two different things entirely. When you finish what you think your plans and your whole thing, like your whole test trap sequence of trying to naturally do accomplish, so to say, and finish your end goal and all that kind of stuff. It's you just head back to the start. And you find yourself wanting to do the same thing all over from the beginning. What does that tell you? That goes to show that in the end, that is just a cycle, a very unhealthy cycle that you need to repeat. When you realize that you keep finding yourself in the same cycle of you wanting, to satiate a certain thing or satiate a certain satisfy a certain, feeling, and you feel like you have to continue doing, you see yourself in an endless cycle, then that's something you have to pull away from, because it's like an addiction. There's something that you can't stop. There's something that you become, addicted to. That's a bad and unhealthy cycle that you should, stop following. That's what I'm going to say about it. It's just completely, unhealthy. Anytime you see yourself, you're always trying to test trap a girl, you're always trying to, reel somebody in. You actually can't sit down at home yourself and do something productive. All you are thinking about is the next to invite over to your house, or the next person that you're going to come and call to rub your chest. Then you should know that's not something you should be focused on.
Contribution. So, Deborah, we want to hear from you. Is Deborah still here? She has cut out. Okay, she's here.
No, I'm here.
Okay, so Deborah,
yes.
we want good. Okay, hi Deborah.
Good evening.
Good to hear from you. Good evening. We're not seeing you, but we're hearing from you. Why do you think the young people don't care anymore? No respect, no value. They don't care anymore. That's just what they don't. Why do you think that happened? Why is it happening now?
Okay. So I don't want to go into the churchy part of the conversation, but from Sunday when I went to church, Pastor Sarah said everything. She said the fear of God. That's one. Now, most youths are not all about, they feel like the holy life, the godly life, the knowing God for yourself life is a boring life. Yes. Okay. They don't understand that you can have fun and be a true Christian. I'm not just saying Christian, a true Christian. Okay. So they feel like the outside life where, okay, there's no God, nobody's watching you. You don't have to cover up yourself. You don't have to not go to certain places that don't shine the glory of God through you, or like the people around you. They feel like that life is not fun. And honestly, people these days, they are following the trend. They are following the, in fact, they are following I would just say they are following celebrities that don't trust God, celebrities that don't know God. They just want to have fun. They just want to live the lifestyle that, oh, this one has money. They're ready to show off at any time. So literally, when you say care, people have different things they care about. I have things in my life that I care about. A lot of people have different ideas of what caring means, or different things of how they care about different things. Now, somebody's care might be, okay, like people were talking about, I want the highest iPhone. In fact, I want the 11 Pro. In fact, the 12 that's coming, I've already booked it down. Now, that's their own idea of care. Now, for me, if I would say what is care, first of all, God comes, my family comes in, friends, school, things that I care about. Now, I'm not about that flashy lifestyle. You don't see me showing everything and everywhere, or being everywhere and every now and then, or everything. So the things I care about, I prioritize the things I care about now. So I'm not losing focus. Most youths are not focused, honestly. Most
youths are not focused.
No,
youth are not focused.
They're not. Okay. If you check the word focus, it means you putting your mindset, setting your mind, your goals on something, on one particular thing. And if you ask some youth of today, what are you more focused on? They'll be like, I beg you only live once. Now that's the most trendy word. You only live once. You better live well. Tomorrow now you can just die. They do not know that it will end in tears. Honestly, most of them don't know that it will end in tears. It is vanity. It will finish. It will finish. And when you try to talk to them, they'll be like, oh, you do not know better than me. No, because you think, and some of them will be like, oh, don't worry, you have the privileged life. Your father is giving you this. Your mother is giving you this. You're going to the best schools. How do you want me to live? It's not like you can help me. If I ask you for money, will you give me? Most times, nowadays, everybody's looking for, oh, who will help me? My helper. My helper. They're not looking at they don't have a big picture. Yes, that's the word I wanted to use. They're just, now. What can I get from you now? They move to the next person. So if you're saying care, most youths don't know what care is again. Everybody has forgotten the idea of caring for something that has value. They just care for what is happening now, the trends that are happening now. Who says this and what are we going to follow? Where is the crowd following? So most youths don't understand what care is right now. So I doubt we can seek.
So most youths don't care or don't know what they don't care about anything at the moment. They don't know the true meaning of care.
No,
all the one is the material things. Yeah.
Now. What can I get now?
What
can I get now? Following?
What is everybody? So it's based on the trend. It's based on
yes.
What is happening.
Yes.
And so let me go back to David.
right.
Please, if you have anything to say concerning this matter, please just unmute your mic. And on next, if you have something to say, please just unmute your mic, and we would like to hear your contributions and all, to hear what you want to talk to us about, because as we're here, we need to, the Bible says iron sharpeneth iron. So I want to talk about, David, I want to talk about the trend on Twitter. Twitter seems like a war zone. And why I'm talking about Twitter is because that's where half of the young people in this world, they're on Twitter.
Yeah.
And it's a place where a lot of the savage is it's too much. I mean, on Twitter, 1 or 2 persons, because of the trend on Twitter, committed suicide, for you to know how bad.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's like that? Young people insulting Twitter. If you're going on Twitter, you don't have courage or you don't have strength, inner strength. I don't think you can last long on Twitter. Why is it that?
Well, I feel like, okay, this is just another example or another, situation or another debate on, ethics and, standing, and that situation on, ethics, morals, and what you actually stand for and what you actually believe, because if you look at it, people, if you notice, why are people being savage on Twitter? Most of the time when people even go at each other on Twitter, it's not because of anything sensible. It's just so that they can get laughs, or so they can get jokes, or just to ridicule somebody, just to, even get famous, just to be seen for, doing or saying something funny whilst mocking somebody else, on the run. I personally do not understand Twitter and why people go crazy on that application on a whole personal note. But I do understand that the people that let themselves loose and say things they're not supposed to say, and say a lot of vulgar things and just go at each other, only do it because I don't know, either they're refusing to, if they have morals, they're refusing to live or see things. They're refusing to see things with the ethics they have learned, or they are just not, they just don't understand ethics in general. Because I feel like anybody that grew up in a sensible environment, somebody that grew up in a family where morals and ethics are being instilled, where language is important, where you need to understand how to talk on social media platforms, in a society around you, how to speak in public. You understand that there are certain words and certain things you should not be saying, especially on social media applications. There are certain things you should not be uttering. Vulgar language should not be used. But lots of times people just don't care anymore. I think it's just people not caring, and I think it's a trend. So basically,
but you're saying a lot of people that they've been that on Twitter, they don't have good background. They've not been properly trained by parents, or they just want to follow the trend.
Yeah, either they've not been trained properly, they don't understand ethics, and they don't care about it, or they refuse to live by the way they've been they've been taught how to live. Because a lot of people, even in Nigeria, that we've grown up in houses that seemingly strenuous and seemingly hard, where we're being disciplined and all that. When you come out, you still see a bunch of us saying things we should not be saying out there, or doing things we should not be doing. So I feel like it all falls back to personal ethics and personal morals. You constraint, self-resolve, self-respect,
self-constraints. So this is where the word of God plays to confine you, to restrain you. You want to say this, but you don't allow it because you're better off when you don't say those things.
Awesome. I want to use harsh on someone because they upset you, but the fact that you don't necessarily portray a good image, or would not just even be the right thing to say at that point, because it does not show any of the fruits of the Holy Spirit. It does not show love, joy, peace, or anything in general. So you should stop yourself from saying such. That kind of thing does not spread love or light to anybody. It does not even correct anybody in any way. All it brings about is just fight. You look at it really. So yeah, that's just it.
So what do you think about that as well? What do you think about, because it's part of the trend, it's part of money, it's part of being famous, it's part of being relationship. I see some people, they say they met on Twitter and they are married, they met on Twitter and because most of the rape accusation we're hearing, they met on Twitter. It wasn't like a real life meeting. It was on Twitter that they got to meet themselves in the real world, and something happened and they're back to Twitter to talk about what they did in their private. So why do you think people no longer care? especially Christians, insulting pastors, insulting. I mean, the rate at which this generation throwing caution into the deep blue sea. Why do you think it's happening?
Well, what David said actually makes a lot of sense, and I totally agree with that. And what Deborah also said, the fear of God, that's just the truth. There's no authority over us anymore. We've just, just.
Is it, no, let me pick up one. Is it that there is no authority over you, or you refuse to yield to the authority? Which one?
Exactly. It's both. I feel like it's both, because some people don't care about the authority over them or whatnot. They do not care that there's anybody, or some people don't even have anybody. That's the truth.
Wow.
Some are not Christians, and so they don't have God, and then maybe they don't have parents that are there for them and all of that. So it might be that, and also that they don't care about the people that are actually there. And that's just really about it. Also, I mean, having respect for people, this is not even about, adults or whatnot. This is having respect for human beings. How do you just say things that come to your mouth and just say, not caring about the person's feelings or whatever? You just say because, that's what you felt like saying, and you're good with it. And because, everybody starts hailing you like, yeah, savage and all of that. And it's very uncalled for, really. I don't know why that happens. And I just feel like there's no fear of something like, they don't feel like, they should care about the next person. They just care about themselves. They just care about how they feel and what they feel they should do, and they don't really care about people. And that's just really sad. And I mean, for Christians, what are we doing if we're not loving people, if we're thinking about only our... So it's not,
no. Thank you guys so much for this wonderful contributions and wonderful ideas you've shared. I want to encourage the young people to not to give up. Don't forget where you're coming from. Don't forget where you're coming from. Remember that the things that you see today will fade away. And remember that the things you crave for now will expire tomorrow. The iPhone 11 Pro Max that is the latest. We're hearing now that the 12 is coming out. So new gadgets, new technology. How many do you want to kill yourself for? So take it easy and relax. I got a question here. I got one question here. Somebody says, Jason says, is Twitter a medium or outlet for revealing one's true feelings about a topic, or is it an addiction in itself? Is Twitter a place of expression of one's true feelings, your feeling, and just express and just talk, or it's an addiction in itself? Who's going to go for that? David or sharply, sort of, before we round up?
David, speak.
Okay. If I must say, you see, the thing with social media applications we need to understand today is that these creators don't create applications or content for one direct purpose. Twitter is anything you want it to be. An application that is created is anything you want it to be. If you really, because look at, that's how they can sell their markets. They're not going to create an app and tell you that, okay, this app is necessarily for this. For example, they will not tell you that Instagram is an app for messaging and Instagram is an app for posting pictures. Yet we can do both on the same app. They will not tell you Twitter is an app for being savage at people. Yet that's what it's being used for. These applications, everything that's been released in the world today is being, released to get full and maximum, interaction from the masses, either positive or negative, because it's to help their business. So if you make Twitter an addiction, they gain anyways. If you make Twitter a medium, they gain anyways. It all depends on what you make Twitter, what you make Twitter for yourself, what you make of Twitter for yourself, you understand? If you make Twitter a platform where you publish God's words and send devotion to flowers every morning, sure, that's what you've turned it to do. If you make Twitter a place where you post your nude pictures and, your profanity, that's what you used it for. It depends on what you have made the app, for you as yourself. It depends on what you have used it for yourself. Somebody can have a Bible in their house and use it as a table tennis part every day of their life and not open it. Somebody else can have a Bible and every day wake up, read that Bible, gain and understand knowledge and live their life and grow. Each of them are given an opportunity. Each of them had the Bible. Each of them can read. Each of them can write. Each of them can do anything. Nobody's disabled. But what one used it for mattered than what the other person used it for. So they all have different uses. Maximize the use to make it benefit you. You know, think about the end. So think about how it will affect you and how it will affect the people, like how you're using it. Hey, Jesus. Think about how it will affect the people in the way you're using it, and think about how it will affect you in the process of you using it as well. You understand? So just make it's what you make of it. That's what I believe it is. It's what you make of it. It's not what. Yeah.
Thank you, David. So in summary, I think this is a very good place to conclude. A life, it is what you make out of it. And guess what? Without the maker of life, you cannot make good thing out of life. You must consult the owner of life. You must consult the God of life to be able to make excellent decisions about your life. Because if you do, you realize that you have a more sustainable life than a destructive life. If you consult the God of life, realize that you have a proper foundation. Your foundation is stable. No matter how the wind of life blows, it will never shake your foundation because you have already consulted the God of life to lay your foundation in life. So I encourage young people, stay in the path of righteousness. It's not all about money. It's not all about fame. These things, they are good. You can use them for your advantage. They are good. Money is good. The Bible says money answered all things, but not all things. Because some certain things money cannot cure. So if you have money and you have the God of life, you realize that your money will do more good to you than harm. And relationship, young people, there is a time for everything. Finish your degree. Go to school. Finish your degree. Finish your master's. By the time you're done, 23, 24, begin to think of husband, begin to think of wife. And make sure you have an agenda. Not to just see one fine boy and see one fine girl you want to kill yourself for. No. You follow purpose. Date for a purpose, not to satisfy your inner, because that desire will never finish. Your inner desire will never finish. The more you get it, the more you crave for it. That's how God made us. But you see, if you follow God, He brings satisfaction to you. He brings contentment to you. He brings peace to you. That even in the relationship, you will have peace. That should be your aim. And any relation that doesn't add value to you, any relationship that doesn't add value to you is not worth calling a relationship. It's a destruction. Destruction is a destruction. It's not relationship, it's a destruction. So evaluate your relationship, evaluate your friends. And when we're talking about relationship, it's not about boy and girl. We're talking about who you're sitting with, who you talk to, who you call on phone. Those odd moments where you call those kind of people. If they don't add value to your life, please walk away. Thank you so much for joining, David. Thank you, Ore. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Jason, for this opportunity. You guys are awesome. I pray that your path will continue to shine brighter and brighter onto the perfect day. Thank you, Miss Abayomi, for I hope that's a hey God, you're running or going to my head. Thank you, Pristine. Thank you, Donald. Thank you, Doctor, for creating this platform and for giving us the opportunity to share to the young people. So, guys, don't worry, we'll see you. We're coming up with the next edition, and I hope you'll be part of this. Thank you so much and have a glorious day. Thank you, David. Thank you, Ore. Take care of yourself, yeah?